Hello my friends, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about some new makeup releases, the Chantecaille Spring Collection, the Guerlain Spring Collection. I've also picked up the Chanel Rouge Noir collection and I have some new products from YSL, so let's get started. And I'm gonna start with YSL. I've picked up some new stuff. I have the Valentine's Day quad. This one is called Sparkling Lust. There are some more products in this Valentine's Day collection, but I only picked up the quad. I wasn't really interested in the lip products. I also have the Lash Latex mascara and I have a new blush and lipstick. This one is called Stardus Love and this is the matching lipstick, so this one is also called Stardus Love. Now I'm gonna start with the quad, and this is a limited edition quad, and this is a rosy color story with a hint of lilac mauve and a hint of peachy gold. Now the two matte shades are those rosy shades. One is a bit darker in tone, the other one is lighter in tone, and then we have those two sparkly shades. Like I said, this shade contains some more lilac mauve particles, glitters, and the other shade, this one right here, has more of a golden peachy tone. Now the pigmentation of all shades is very good, the same as all the other quads from the brand, but I do need to mention that these shades are light. I am wearing this palette on my eyes today, so I think you can see that these shades are light. They give this ethereal look, so this definitely gives more of a romantic, dreamy spring vibe. And maybe for some of you these colors are too light, but I actually really like that YSL did a palette like this, because we haven't seen this from the brand before. So if you like this ethereal vibe, if you like your eyeshadow to be lighter in tone, not too obvious, not too intense, then this is definitely a color story you should check out. Now I didn't pick up the lipsticks from the Valentine's Day collection, but I did pick up this new Love Shine lipstick in Stardus Love together with the new blush in Stardust Love. I'm wearing the lipstick on my lips and the blush on my cheeks, and I think that the combination of this Valentine's Day eyeshadow and this lipstick and this blush, they provide a very balanced, good look. Now I think most of you are familiar with the Love Shine lipstick formula. This is a very hydrating, nourishing formula. I really love this. I have so many Love Shine lipsticks. This is one of my favorite formulas. Yes, you need to reapply after eating, after drinking. It fades quite easily, but it feels so soft and comfortable on the lips. I really enjoy this formula. At the moment my lips are very dry due to the cold weather conditions, and this is that kind of lipstick I want to wear on days like these instead of some very dry matte formula. I think you know what I mean. Now this shade is a neutral, slightly warm leaning rosy pink shade, but it does contain some cooler toned glitters or sparkles, and that's why it pairs so well with this new blush in Stardust Love. This is, as you can see, a very cool toned lilac pink. It's more pink, but it does have a hint of lilac in it. What do you need to know about this blush in particular? It's very glowy. I think it might be too glowy for some of you. But don't be afraid to use it, because you can also very easily use this as a highlighter if it's too glowy for you. It doesn't emphasize the pores or skin texture, fine lines or whatever. It's a very, very nice formula to work with. This is a very light color, so now on my pale winter skin it works fine, but I'm not sure how this is gonna look on me during summer, for example, when I'm more tanned. So I'm not sure how this shade will look on the darker skin tones, on deeper skin tones. I don't think it's gonna be the best match for deeper skin tones, and I actually think that this shade looks best on pale or light complexions. It is a beautiful shade, but I don't think it's for everyone. I've also tested the Lash Latex mascara from YSL, and usually I'm not the biggest fan of lengthening mascaras. I prefer a mascara that gives volume, but I have to say that I really, really enjoy this one. It gives the lashes a curl. It separates them in a beautiful way. It gives the lashes length, and I also think it gives the lashes a little bit of volume. Not as much as a volumizing mascara, obviously, but I do really think this is a good mascara. I've also picked up the new Guerlain Spring Collection, of course, the eyeshadow quad in the shade 396 Denim Blossom, the Meteorites in shade Blooming Glow, and last but not least, this beautiful lipstick. Oh, this lipstick case is so pretty. And I bought the lipstick in shade 759, and I really didn't know what lipstick shade to pick. I like them all, actually. There were some brown nude shades, and there were two pinks, and I believe a like fiery red shade. So I had this poll on Instagram, and I asked you guys to pick a lipstick from me, and the shade 759 got the most votes, so that's the shade I picked up. And guys, I'm actually really happy you picked this shade, because I really like it. I like it more than I expected, because based on the website pictures, I thought it was gonna be like a very cool toned mauve with a hint of plum, but it actually is more of a pink with a cooler undertone. So yes, it's a cool tone lipstick, but it's not as purple as I thought it was going to be. It's more of a pink shade, and I really like that. I love how it looks on me. I also really enjoy the satin formula. I also think the Guerlain matte formula is good, but sometimes it can feel a little bit too dry, and that doesn't apply to all of the matte lipsticks from the brand, from the Rouge G, but yeah, in my experience, some are drier than others. Now this shade comes in the satin formula, and this is a formula that feels very comfortable on the lips, but it does fade during the day, and especially after eating you really need to reapply it. So keep that in mind. It's not the most long-lasting formula, but it is a very good formula. As for the Meteorites, I think most of you know that these pearls are a finishing powder. It provides a very natural effect. There are matte pearls in the jar, there are glowy pearls in the jar, and these pearls combine to give a beautiful natural finish to your makeup. So it's a finishing powder. It's not a setting powder. This is a finishing powder, and you apply this powder as last step in your makeup routine. Now I noticed that in my jar there are some more glowy pearls compared to matte pearls. Usually that ratio is very balanced, but I had the feeling that this time there are more glowy pearls in my jar, and I thought maybe it's just me, but I asked some of my friends and they experienced the same thing. So it seems like the ratio between matte pearls and glowy pearls is a little bit different with this collection. I mean, that's not a disaster. I just don't want the finishing powder to become too glowy. So I use a very light hand and a big fluffy brush to apply this powder to get the best natural finish on my face. And of course, we also have to talk about the eyeshadow palette. I think this is a gorgeous color story. In this palette, you'll find one matte shade, that's the bright pink. There is the blue topper shade. There's a bronzy tone and a light champagne color. Now, some of you know that I am not the biggest fan of spring makeup. I usually find the spring makeup collections too sweet, like candy cane sweet. It usually reminds me of children's makeup. So usually I just skip most of the spring collections, but this is a little bit sweet as well. Yes, I have to admit that, but I think that this is more of a mature version of spring makeup. So it's not that sickly sweet as the Dior makeup collection for spring, for example. That's all personal preference, of course. What I like so much about this palette in particular is that you can very easily create a natural wearable look with a pop of color. I was a bit afraid that the pink and the blue were gonna be too intense, maybe too bold even, but that is not the case at all. Especially if you use these four shades together in one look, if you pair them, it looks very fresh and not childish, not clownish. It's definitely not too much color. So I think all in all, this is a very, very good color story. The formula of this eyeshadow palette is very good, no creasing. I did experience a little bit of fallout with the blue shade, and I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way to apply this shade. I've applied it with my fingertips, I've applied it with brushes, and I feel like when I apply it with my fingertips, I'm like wiping away those holographic particles. So all there's left is just a blue, wash of color. But when I apply it with tapping motions with a brush, I get lots of fallout. So I'm still playing with that a bit. I do also need to talk about this pink shade because it looks a little bit intimidating in the pan, right? Like it's a very bold, bright pink, but it doesn't translate like this to the eyes. When you apply this, you'll see that it's very soft in tone. And yes, you can build it up in intensity if that's what you like, but you don't have to do that. And if you just use a light hand and you do not use too much product, you will get a very thin layer of that pink, and it actually looks very, very pretty, not intimidating at all. So this is that kind of shade you can really play with to see how intense you want to go with this shade. And the same kind of applies to this blue. You can just put a tiny layer on top of the other shades as a topper shade, but you can also use it on its own to create a beautiful bright blue eye look. So yes, I think there are a lot of options with just 4 colors, and I really, really like this one. I highly recommend it. Another spring collection I've picked up is from Chantecaille, the Flamingo collection. I absolutely love this theme. I love the packaging. And in this collection, you will find two eyeshadow palettes, a warmer toned one and a cool toned one. I'm going to show you what they look like in a minute. And there are 4 lipsticks in total. I picked up 2 lipsticks. One to combine with the cool toned eyeshadow palette and the other to combine with the warm toned eyeshadow palette. Now let's first discuss the cool toned one. This one is called Dusk. This is the packaging and I think this is absolutely stunning. Now in the palette you will find 3 shades. Of course it's a trio, and there you have it. There is one purple shade. Well, in the pan it looks very purple, but the color translates a bit different to my eyes. It's more of a like brown purple when I apply it on my eyes. And then there's the topper shade, this light pink one. Well, I use it as a topper shade and for the inner corner. And then there's a taupe shade, and I combine this trio with the lipstick in Camu Camu, and that's this color, a very fresh fuchsia pink color. It's gorgeous in combination with that eyeshadow palette. The other one is warmer in tone. And in this palette you of course also find 3 shades, one like purplish pink shade, one peachy pink shade, and a very light topper shade. These 3 combined provide a beautiful eye look, but it is much softer, much lighter in tone compared to the cool tone palette. And with this eyeshadow palette I've bought the Guava lipstick, and this is a beautiful fresh red shade. I absolutely love this shade. I'm very happy I picked up this one. This is a shade I'm going to use a lot during spring and probably also during summer. And this lipstick combined with this eyeshadow palette, it's a wonderful pair. Really. I love how these match so well, how they provide a very balanced, fresh look for spring. Beautiful. Now I do have some thoughts about this collection. When I talk about quality and performance, the color payoff, the pigmentation of the eyeshadow palettes is good, but the warm toned palette, what was the name again? Dawn. Dawn is very light, and I like how it looks on me, but I don't love it. You know, for example, compared to the YSL Valentine's Day quad I showed you at the beginning of this video, that quad is very light too. The shades are very light as well. But you have these sparkly glittery shades that give that little bit of extra to your look. You know what I mean? But with the Chantecaille you get very like flat shades. So I mean, you apply them, and because they are so light, it's very hard to create dimension. So it's, you know, if you like a very ethereal look and you like a soft wash of color on your eyes, then this is probably a palette you will like. But I need something a little bit more special. You know, the cool toned palette is darker in tone. There are some darker shades, so I do not really have that issue with the Dusk palette, but I find Dawn a little bit too light. and you only get 3 shades. And I think I paid, what was it, 80 or 85 euros? I believe I paid 80 euros for 3 shades. When I spend that amount of money, I want something special. And the warm toned palette is just not special enough. And to be honest, the cool tone palette isn't special either. So I don't think that these palettes are worth the money. And same goes for the lipsticks, honestly. I like how these lipsticks pair with the eyeshadow palettes, but they fade in like an hour or so. I wouldn't call these lipsticks, I call these lip balms, tinted lip balms. And they feel very nourishing, they feel moisturizing, they feel hydrating. I love the formula, but it's not really a lipstick. So yeah, is this a collection I would recommend? In all honesty, no. And of course, we also have to talk about the Chanel Rouge Noir collection. This is not the spring collection. Some of you think that this is for spring, but no, it's not. The spring collection is coming, and same as Guerlain, Chanel is doing a denim collection for spring. So keep an eye on Instagram. You can already find a lot of footage over there, some pictures of that new denim collection. I think it will arrive in February. I'm not sure about a release date. So I don't know if it's going to be the beginning of February or mid-February, but just keep an eye on their website and on your social media. If you're interested in that spring collection. Now for this Rouge Noir collection, I've picked up the big cheek eye palette. You can use these shades both on the cheeks and on the eyes. I've also picked up the nail polish, the mascara, the liner, and one of the liquid lipsticks. This is shade, let me check. Ultimates, shade 83. This is a liquid lipstick. I didn't pick up the solid lipsticks. I didn't pick up the Rouge Noir lipstick. I know there are more shades, but that's the shade everyone is talking about. It's too dark for me. And I do not necessarily hate dark lipsticks. I think especially during winter they are very pretty. But with those dark lipsticks, I feel like they age me a bit, and I also think that they make me look pale. Not every shade, but sometimes, yeah, it feels like that. So I decided to not pick up that Rouge Noir lipstick for that reason. Now I really enjoy this big palette. Yes, it's pricey, but I do think it's worth the money because you can use it on the eyes and on the cheeks. And I think this is very pretty. The shades are very pretty. I think everyone finds these shades very pretty. But what I like so much about these shades is that you can build them up so easily. So you can do a very soft pink look, but you can also do a very intense look with this palette. And that's what I like so much about this formula. Now, of course, I've tested this collection. I've played with the shades. I did some different looks. And I think what works best for me is to use this palette in combination with the liner. That's the look I prefer when I work with these shades. And I usually skip this, like this bright fuchsia pink. I like to work with the other 3 shades on my eyes. This is I don't really like how this bright fuchsia pink looks on my eyes, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just that I like the other 3 shades better. So I combine it with the liner, and what I do next with the mascara, because this is of course a red mascara, I use my black mascara first. So I first coat my lashes in the black color, and then on top of that I use 1 coat of this red. So you really get that like Rouge Noir effect. It just makes the red a little bit more subtle when I combine it with a black mascara. So that's how I like to use it. I also really enjoy the liquid lipstick. I have the shade Ultimate. This is one of my favorite formulas from the brand. This has a very nice applicator, and furthermore this is a very long-lasting formula. That's why I enjoy it so much. I do not have to reapply like all the time, and I love how this pairs with both the eyeshadow and cheek palette and the red liner. So yeah, it's a product that doesn't really get the attention it deserves. I feel like on social media everyone is talking about the solid lipsticks, while this one is actually very, very pretty and also worth the money, in my opinion. I didn't pick up the single eyeshadows that come in this collection, but what I've seen from friends of mine on social media, those single eyeshadows are really, really pretty, and I think I have to go back to the stores around the corner here to check them out and see them in person, because I think I might have to pick those up as well. Those single eyeshadows are really, really pretty, and they also really add something to this collection. If you don't really like the cheek eye palette, the eye cheek palette, then maybe you are more interested in these single eyeshadows. I think they are very, very pretty, so maybe I'm gonna purchase those as well. So all in all, I really enjoy this Chanel collection. I think it's very beautiful. All products pair very well. I really like that. And I also appreciate that Chanel did a collection like this. It feels very new. Like it's really something we haven't seen before. I mean, the Rouge Noir is a color that already existed, so you know the shade itself isn't new, but yeah, I like it that Chanel did a like entire makeup collection around this particular color. So yeah, if you're interested in this collection and you aren't sure if the products will suit you, I highly recommend to go to a store and swatch them, and then go outside and look in the natural daylight what the shades look like exactly before you decide, because again, these shades are not for everyone, and especially with red, you know, sometimes red can make you look like you're ill or like you're very tired, you know, and that's something you want to avoid. So yeah. And as I mentioned, the Chanel Spring collection is also coming soon. I think I'm gonna pick up some of the products of this new collection. The eyeshadow palettes look very tempting. The lipsticks look good. I'm not sure about the blue mascara. I am tempted to combine that blue mascara with the eyeshadow palettes, but I'm afraid I won't use it often enough. So I'm still a bit on the fence, but we'll see when it's available. I'm gonna check it out in store and swatch it, and then I'll decide what I'll purchase. So my friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have some other news to share because I am working on my Byredo Vesuvio review. That review will be on my channel anytime soon, I think within a week or so. I'm gonna record that video tomorrow or the day after, but it will be online anytime soon. And yes, I really enjoy this palette. It's very pretty, very pretty. I recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.